Villains that we love come in different types, like those who create chaos, those who are efficient, those who are charming, and those who are repulsive. One such memorable villain is Gus Fring, who was made by Vince Gilligan and acted by Giancarlo Esposito. Did you know Gus Fring is named after a soccer player named Torsten Frings? He's scary, respectable, and stands out in the shows Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Fring is a great match for Walter White, the main character, who shows that a hero is only as strong as the villain they go up against. Because he's in 2 series, we can learn a lot from his character if we want to be writers. In this video, let's take a closer look at what makes this character so fleshed out and compelling. Vince Gilligan is really good at making his characters interesting by showing their traits in a natural way. When a character is introduced, especially a bad guy, it's important. Some crime bosses show up with their groups, fancy stuff, or violence to show they're in charge. But Gus Fring is different. He hides who he is. He finds you. You don't find him. This makes him mysterious, like Kaiser Soze in The Usual Suspects, and he disappears mysteriously too. A character who keeps their identity hidden while having a dangerous empire makes us more scared. They have control and can get rid of their enemies easily. The actor Giancarlo Esposito used yoga to help him act calmly. Gus wants revenge, makes money with chicken restaurants, stays mysterious, and shows up in another show called Better Call Saul. Gilligan doesn't just make Fring a secretive drug kingpin who pretends to run a fast food place. He slowly shows us that Fring is part of the community. He acts friendly with the police and makes friends with allies while keeping enemies close. Gus's dual personas emerge in public and private spheres, exuding kindness and generosity in public. He conceals ulterior motives. Privately, he bears a serious demeanor due to the traumas he endured. His interactions with associates like Walter, Hector, Bolsa balance respect with underlying agendas. His limited close relationships stem from his tragic past with Max, hindering his ability to connect genuinely. This makes things intense for all the characters and the people watching, showing Fring as a good person in public who is actually a ruthless killer makes the tension stronger. The fact that he can act this way shows he's really skilled, and the way he plays with people's interactions show he doesn't care about doing bad things. Keeping up his good image is super important. He quickly gets rid of anyone who threatens it, so the stakes get higher and the story gets more complicated. To create this character, you need to understand how he acts. The saying, "how you do anything is how you do everything," fits here perfectly. Gus is extremely meticulous in all aspects of his life, possessing a painstaking and calculated nature. Gus harbors obsessive-compulsive disorder, or OCD, as observed in his actions, especially during stress. He's precise in dressing, speaking, and using coded language for security. He values efficiency in communication and admires those who are passionate and skilled in their fields, like Gale and Walt. He's also drawn to people like David who display attention to detail. On the other hand, he doesn't like messiness. He pushes away Jesse because of his addiction and Eladio because he's a scared leader. A good villain isn't just evil. They have goals just like the main character. Gilligan makes Fring a hero in his own story, always growing. Gus Fring basically operates 2 legitimate businesses, Los Polos Hermanos and Lavandera Brillante, which serves as fronts for his illicit drug trade. He collaborates with influential individuals from the Madrigal conglomerate and possesses both a ruthless streak and a sense of civic responsibility. Born on April 26, 1958 in Chile, Gus's impoverished upbringing shaped his determination and willingness to confront challenges. His childhood stories of hardship and hunger, shared with ailing Hector, hint at his resilience. While his early life remains mostly obscured, his life story gains clarity when he leaves Chile in 1986. Gus's journey begins with a restaurant venture connected to Germany, possibly through his friend Peter Schuller. The backdrop of Chile's tumultuous political landscape under the rule of Augusto Pinochet influences their paths. Amid the chaos, they might have been part of a resistance group opposing Pinochet's regime, strengthening their bond. His moniker, Grand Generalissimo, humorously references Pinochet's, suggesting Gus's possible undercover role in an organization like DINA to subvert it from within. The failed attempt to assassinate Pinochet in 1986 aligns with Gus's departure from Chile, influenced by his connection to Peter. His romantic partner, Max Arceniega's death, prompts Gus to intensify his involvement in the drug trade through Los Polos Hermanos. Hector Salamanca's role in Max's demise alters Gus's course, culminating in a vengeful pursuit. He's under Don Eladio's control, working secretly until he's ready. Gilligan doesn't show Gus as the all-powerful bad guy. It depends on how you look at it. He's important, but hasn't won everything yet, and his enemies are still around. When we see his side of things, we want him to win and beat his rivals. In the TV show Breaking Bad, understanding what Gus wants changes how we see the main character. Gus wants to use Walt's meth cooking skills to control the drug market and achieve his plan. This would make Walt rich. Gus goes from being a boss and teacher to being like a partner, which is different from the usual villain roles. The show breaks with the normal way villains are shown. Gus is a very good teacher, even though he's a bad guy. He's really good at being a criminal, and this is different from Walt, who makes decisions based on feelings and pride. To beat Gus, someone has to be as good or better than him. This makes the story about two main characters fighting for power in the meth business. Walter and Gus compete to learn from each other and to defeat each other. They are very different. Walt is in a hurry because he has cancer and regrets, and he wants success fast. Gus is impatient and plans carefully, as shown in his actions in Better Call Saul. He waits to start making meth until everything is perfect. This patience comes from his past, which we learn about in an important speech where he talks about his childhood and how he grew patient over time. Gus is patient, even when seeking revenge. He wants to hurt Hector for killing his friend Max. He uses the same kind of patience as a child, and he uses it to plan how to hurt Hector. The show's creator Vince Gilligan connects these traits to make Gus a consistent character. Gus's calculated approach, patience, and planning, driven by his OCD, contribute to his success. His confrontation with Lalo Salamanca highlights his anxiety and meticulousness, revealing layers of his psyche. However, his relentless pursuit of vengeance leads to cruel actions, culminating in orchestrated deaths and the manipulation of characters like Nacho Varga. He enjoys secret things like eating a special fruit. He builds a hidden lab under a laundromat and only tells people when it's time to start cooking meth. It's his secrets that make him powerful, and he uses cameras to watch but not give away too much. When he finds out Hank, Walt's brother-in-law, is a threat, he waits to take action, which helps him reach different goals. Sometimes we know more than the characters, and sometimes we're as confused as they are. In this case, we think Gus sends the twins to kill Hank, but he warns Hank before it happens. We don't know why. Later, we find out that Gus wanted the twins to die by attacking Hank. This makes the police target the Mexican cartel, which helps Gus and also sets up Walt to make meth in a secret lab. Gus uses people's urges to trick them, making them do what he wants. This helps him beat rivals and control the market. He's really good at planning and doesn't take big risks. He pretends to be different people to trick others without their knowledge. He uses tricks with his workers like Jesse and Nacho as well. When Mike wants help for Nacho, Gus says Nacho is like a problem dog. He doesn't take Walt's offer but hires Jesse, which makes Walt jealous. Gus does things to make people proud and does different things when he needs to. He understands his enemies, like knowing Walt wants to be important. He praises Walt and punishes Jesse to make them fight. He'd act differently if he didn't respect them. To deal with a growing danger, Gus creates conflict by changing the people he works with. He replaces Gale with Jesse and then Jesse with Walt. He uses fear to make people do what he wants and be thankful for it. Publicly, Gus stays away from crime. He takes advantage of chances, like when he kills Victor, to show he's in control. This is a very important moment that shows a darker side of him. Gus doesn't appear in Breaking Bad a lot, but his short time on screen leaves an impact. The cameras and his agents make the tension stronger. He's more powerful than the main characters, showing how much control he has. Compared to the other bad guys on screen, Gus is really smart and in charge. He can even hurt himself to hurt others, and he enjoys it when people in his family suffer. But the saying goes that even great guys fall. Gus's downfall stems from his inability to relinquish his thirst for revenge. While revenge is a driving force, it propels a cycle of harm and destruction. Despite seeking justice, the cycle mirrors the revenge of Varga or Nacho's father. The cycle ultimately consumes Gus, leaving him trapped in anger and grief, causing further harm and perpetuating the cycle of violence. Gus's character represents a study in contradiction. He possesses intelligence, brutality, and a consuming drive for retribution. Yet his choices harm both criminals and innocents. While he has reasons for his actions, the damage he has inflicted on others and himself underscores the futility of his path. Revenge-driven actions, regardless of motives, all these yield only pain and suffering, failing to heal wounds or rectify injustices. Gus's core identity revolves around power and vengeance, mirroring his tumultuous journey. His complex motives reveal a multifaceted character, yet his deeds expose the ruinous impact of revenge. Gus's narrative highlights how vengeance, even when justified, perpetuates harm and erodes the human spirit. While his significant role shapes the story, meticulous writing elevates him as a memorable character. A formidable antagonist enhances the hero's brilliance, as they truly shine when confronting seemingly invincible enemies. So what are your thoughts on the paradox of Gus Fring? Do you believe his methods justify his goals, or is the line between hero and villain truly blurred? Share your insights in the comments below. If you're hungry for more intriguing character analysis and thought-provoking content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thank you for joining us.